Hello, my name is Hui Adam Nguyen, and this is my final project. It is a paper model of my app-based game Survival Instincts. The game itself can actually be played like a board game and also be ported to PC since it's based off in apps. Um, so I'm going to show it off more or less kind of like a board game because I do not have the magic of video editing. And so everything you see is everything you get pretty much. My voice may be a little raspy, and I may cough once or twice because I have a little bit of a cold, so excuse me for that. So let's begin. Now, in the menu, there's basic settings. So we'll start a new game. Now, the board itself will be oriented horizontally. The UI can actually be redesigned to be played vertically on like a smaller phone for people on the go in buses and stuff. So the game will welcome you. It will prompt you to put in a settlement of your choice or in the place of your choice. So let's say I pick the plains, and then your opponent, an AI or player, let's say he chooses the river. Now the player or all players will get one bonus material at the start of his game based on what tile they start. There are four tiles: forest, mountain, river, and plains. Plains give food. Mountain and forest will give you materials, and the river will give water. So it will randomly pick who gets to go first, and in this case, the AI will get to go first. So he'll start off with 3 of each material and 1 extra water, so he'll have 4 water instead of 3 since he started on the plains. So you will be prompted on where to move your units in nodes. I'll explain that when it's my turn. So for now, let's say he moves 1 into farming and 1 into mining, and 0 into water gathering, and he will spend his 1 unit to go capture this land. So also I'll explain that during my turn. So and then he, let's say, ends his turn, and now it's my turn, your turn. So at the beginning of your turn, you will gather resources from nodes. Now, since it's my beginning turn, I will get 3 of each in each category, except for the food. I will get 4 food because I started in the plains. Now, let's say since I have 3 units, I'll put 1 in farm and 1 in the water. And then it will give you a counter at the bottom of your bottom right of your screen to let you keep track. And I will go down to 2 units, or 1 unit rather, sorry. And I would like to capture this land to keep him from expanding to me or trying to attack me directly. So you tap on it and it will prompt you if you want to capture it. It'll cost you 1 unit, and I'll say yes. And I'll use up my last unit I currently have, and then I will, let's say, exchange. So we'll go into the trade menu, and I'll exchange for 3 more units. So I'll have no water and 1 food, and then I'll put 2 more into water and 1 more into food. So then I'll have 2 in my food and 3 in my water, and I have capped out. So each base camp when you start will have 3 nodes, and each of those nodes can have up to 3 units, and for each unit you will gather 1 material of each type, and any camps you create forward on will not have nodes, so you cannot snowball into a win. So I will end my turn, and it is now the AI's turn. And since he has one in the food and one in the resource, he will now have 4 resources and 4 food, 4 water, and no units. And he'll exchange let's say he exchanges all 4 units, or all 4 food and water, because it costs 1 water and 1 food to make 1 unit, for 4 units. And then in order to build a camp, you must have a captured land. So he will exchange for 1 camp, and it'll take place, and it'll eat up this unit as well, and it'll cost him 3 units and 2 material. So he's down to 1 unit and 2 material, and he'll send off his last unit that he has currently into the mine, or to collect water, and he'll end his turn. And now it's my turn. So I will gather 2 food and 3 water, and I will have back up to 3 of each. And I'll use both 3 food and 3 water in my resources, and make 3 units, and I'll end up with 0 water and 0 food for time being. And I will also build a camp. So go back into the menu, the trade, and build a camp over my captured land. And that will cost me 3 units and 2 materials. So I'm down to 1 material. And then, since I have nothing else to do, I will end my turn. And it's the enemy's turn again. And since this is his 3rd turn, a random event will happen. Every 30 turns, a random event will happen. And let's say, oh look, a bear attacks, and he does not have a unit. So he must give up one other thing he has. And since he has 2 resources, he will give up that one of the 2 resources, and he'll go down to 2. After collecting his turn bonuses, or turn harvesting nodes, he'll go back up to 2. And he'll exchange those, a food and a water, for a unit. And then he sets out to capture this mountain. And then he'll end his turn. And now it's my turn. And let's see what happens on my turn. Let's say first I'll program it to collect my materials first. So I'll gain my 2 food and 3 water. And let's say, oh dear, a flood has hit me. So I will lose 2 water or a unit of my, you'll take the first, and if you don't, you lose the second. So since I have 3 water, I'll lose 2 of the 3 water, and I'll go down to 1. And say it puts me in a pretty poor state, but I still have enough to exchange just for 1 unit. So I'll make that 1 food left, and I get to make 1 unit. And let's say I want to put that unit into a node. So I'll put 1 more unit into the node, into food. So I will have an income of 3 and 3 food. And then I end my turn. And it's the enemy's turn. So, enemies. And he will gain his 1 food, 1 resource, and 1 water. So he will exchange his, to make it 1 more unit, and he will end his turn because he can't really do much. So now it's my turn. And I will get 3 water and 4 food. And I'll exchange those 3 water and 4 food for 3 units. Now, you cannot capture and build a so let's do this first. I have 3 units. And you cannot capture a land and build a settlement at the same turn, or else because you would progress too quickly sometimes, and you can win over others too quickly, and that might upset others. So let's say I want to capture this land. So prompt me again, and I'll say yes, and then I have this land captured, and that will cost me a unit. So I have 2 left, and then I noticed that I do not have enough materials, so I will spend those last 2 units and move them into materials collecting. So I will have 2 materials next turn. Oops. And then I end my turn, and now it's the enemy's turn. And he will gain his 1 food and 1 material, and trade it off for 1 unit, which will leave him with actually enough to build his own settlement. And look, and as it happens to be, he has 1 captured land. So he will capture, or he will build a land or a settlement on his captured land and win the game. And I have lost. And that's pretty much the game. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.